So you guys don't know what I'm about to ask you. About an hour or so ago, I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across this video and I wanted your thoughts. So this is a simple yes or no. Would you try this shot? Its ingredients: vodka, milk, and dry mac and cheese packet.
I already saw this today.
And
Absolutely not.
all right, Lydia.
That just sounds like vomit waiting to happen. It sounds like it would taste like vomit, so absolutely not.
Matt.
No, not at all. Nope.
See, I am also a no, but probably not why you think. My no is simply because when you buy these boxes of mac and cheese, you only get one mac and cheese packet. So, if you do this, then you're wasting all this macaroni.
I mean, you can use it for other things.
Okay, then maybe.
But also, like, are you putting the whole pack in the one shot?
So, the video called for 2 ounces of vodka, 2 ounces of milk, and then one whole packet, and that makes 3 shots.
Ew. It's thick. Yeah. Like,
No.
I'm just imagining like cheese flavored protein shake with vodka in it. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with this. You're listening to The Geek Awakens with Mitch,
Matt.
Tabitha.
And Lydia.
So this is what happens when we take multiple weeks off, guys. Sorry about it.
I would say we won't make that mistake again, but we know better than that.
Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about. So earlier today, nominees for the 2024 Eisner Awards were released. Image Comics got the most nominations with 17, and DC came in second with 13. For Best Continuing Series, DC received 4 of the 5 nominations for Birds of Prey, Nightwing, Shazam, and Wonder Woman. The other nominee, Transformers, is from Image Skybound. Friend of the show, Silver Sprocket, picked up a nomination for picked up a nomination in Best Limited Series for Pee Pee Poo Poo. The other nominations are The Coal from Image, Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons from IDW, Kill Your Darlings from Image, and Superman Lost from DC. The Eisners will be presented during the San Diego Comic-Con on July 26th. Obviously, there are a ton of nominations that I didn't include here, but still, like, as far as the Best Limited Series category goes, the only one that I read was Superman Lost. And while I don't know that I would put that in, like, a Best Limited Series category, it was still a really good book. And so it was still kind of cool to see that, because it's like, oh, hey, sometimes I do have good taste. Let's go ahead and open up the pull list. What's on our pull list this week? And the first book we're going to talk about is Choose Your Own Adventure, Forecast from Stonehenge. It's out now from Oni Press, written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Dani Bolinho. So in this adventure, you travel to Stonehenge for a solstice event. Your friend instructs you to find a druid named Alistair. Along the way, you'll meet many other characters, but are they friend or foe? I went through, like, a couple of different paths, but, like, not enough to where I read the whole thing. Matt, I'm pretty sure you probably read more of these than I did. So what were your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. This is very much like a Choose Your Own Adventure that I grew up reading, but with art, with panels like a comic book, which at first like when I first started it, I was like, oh, maybe that's going to be distracting because, you know, I read these as a kid and it was all just text. I felt like it was a good balance. It did lend itself to the story as far as everything went. I had a good time with it. I'm just never any good at these. Like, I always pick the wrong decision, and even if I back up, I pick a different decision. I still, like, I don't know. I came to, like, 6 different endings in the span of a half an hour, and I'm just like, okay, I probably read maybe half of the total book, but, like, I don't know. I had a good time. I enjoyed it. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think I ever make the right decisions in those. So.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah, I remember like reading those when I was a kid. Like, it always like never failed. Like, I would make a decision and turn to page 46 and it's like, you died, the end. Like, oh, well, that's shitty. But no, I really enjoyed this. I thought that, you know, the backstory was really cool. And it gave a lot of times, it gave you a good chunk of story before you had to make a decision, which I thought was nice. Yeah, I went through, like I said, but I think I hit 2 different endings. And I was kind of satisfied with both of them. One felt like almost a satisfying ending, and then the other one was like, okay, cool, but where's part 2? You know? I'm not going to call it a gripe, because this is just kind of how it is with us getting these, you know, advanced readers digitally. It was kind of tough to go to page 82 when I'm on page 12, and so that's a lot of scrolling. You know, this would be a lot more fun actually having a physical copy of it. But still, I really liked this, and I really want more of these. The next book is Covenant, Volume 1, also out now from Oni Press by LySandra Vuong. In this collected edition of LySandra Vuong's popular webtoon, Ezra and Samson are exorcists from an unconventional church. Higher-ups start to scrutinize their actions, and Ezra is tasked with keeping the mysterious Sonny safe. I wasn't too sure what to think of this book first going into it. I was really worried that it was going to be either this is going to show how, you know, the church is evil and, you know, like they're actually the bad guys and all this kind of stuff, which it's still, I mean, we don't see it in this volume, but it's something that we may see down the road. That, in my opinion, it can be done well, but it can also be done very badly. And so, like, that kind of thing always kind of worries me. My other thought was that this was going to be like the Bible, the comic book.
Which exists, by the way.
Huh?
Which exists, by the way.
It does. It absolutely does. And so, like, I wasn't really wanting to read that either. So this book really kind of surprised me because it's really neither of those things. The main characters, Ezra, Samson, their leader, I can't remember his name, like, they're all really, they're different characters. They're well thought out. They are outcasts. Ezra is an atheist, or he's agnostic. He's agnostic, at least, which is not something that you really would have expected. And you see that conflict inside of him. My biggest thing with this book, you know, the story was good. The art was really good. It ended very abruptly. And with this being, you know, a collected edition from a webtoon, that makes sense, you know. And I don't know how far, you know, like how far ahead the webtoon is, but hopefully volume 2 comes out a lot quicker, you know. Because I do want more of this story. I do want to see where this goes. Lydia, what'd you think?
I really liked this. I was with you, I guess, as soon as it started, because it started off very, like, almost dry and serious. I'm like, okay, how deep are we going to get into, you know, praise be to God and all this stuff? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I forgot what comes next, and I immediately had that theater kid moment of, oh crap, line, and I laughed out loud, and I was hooked from then on, to the point where I didn't get to finish this volume, but I almost thought I was running late getting here because I looked up at the clock and it was like 20 minutes after when I checked it last. But I really like this. Art's really nice. I like clean art where you can actually tell the characters apart without having to stop and go back and go, oh, it was this character talking, not this one. It does remind me of like a couple things, kind of like as a conglomeration. Like it gives me City of Bones, like Shadow Hunter vibes and things like that. But overall, I like this and I want to go and finish this volume. And I'm really sad that it ends so abruptly, knowing that kind of sucks. But I am definitely looking forward to volume 2 of this.
Matt, what about you?
So I also was a little rough going at the very beginning. I don't know that I knew that this was a webtoon initially, and this is collected. Knowing that the very beginning of this volume 1 makes more sense, because I almost feel like the first quarter of this was very introductory. It was almost like the author did not know exactly how long this webtoon was going to happen, so they wanted to get some of that groundwork laid for like what's happening and how this world works and kind of stuff. So instead of like spreading that information across volume 1, it was all kind of shoved at the very beginning, because once the Great Church shows up, and things got real interesting at that point, and it like from then on I was 100% hooked. I'm into it. I'm ready. I was disappointed where it cut off, because that, like I said, that first quarter was a little rough going for me. So like you get the last 3 quarters of this book, and I'm like, I'm not even halfway through like whatever this main plot point story is, and I'm like, I need this to continue. And you obviously don't get that because it's volume 1. I did enjoy the art. I like the tattoo aspects of their powers. I thought that was really cool. Well done. Like the tattoo work was also well done, not just the idea behind it. Like they were really cool looking. There were a few moments where it was a little anime manga-ish. Like there were some like surprise moments where like the character models changed drastically, and that like I understood what was going on, but it pulled me out of it just a little bit when those did happen. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I did enjoy this. I want to keep going. I want to know where this threat continues.
Next up is My Body Unspooling, out now from Silver Sprocket by Leo Fox. So Lucille hates his body, and vice versa. The two decide to go their separate ways, but will it stick? Tabitha, you got a chance to read this one. What did you think?
So I know this was kind of jarring, and it was kind of weird, and it was very strange. But those are all the things that I really love the most about this. This was like... It very much felt like someone having like a mental health moment, and I think that's what they were trying to portray here. If not, they did a good job of portraying my mental health moments. There are days when I wake up and I'm like, my clothes are touching me, and then there are other days when I wake up and I'm like, why is my skin on my body? And this is kind of what this felt like. There was a panel in it that like really hit home for me. I actually took a screenshot of it. It said, I am not an eye, I am a collection of organs which are hallucinating. And I was like, same. The art in this was weird and wacky and wild, but also really beautiful, and I want to live in any world where the god of the world is a possum. So sign me up.
Last book to talk about tonight is Hobtown Mystery Stories Volume 1, The Case of the Missing Men. It's out May 21st from Oni Press, written by Kris Bertin with art by Alexander Forbes. It's 1996 in Hobtown, Nova Scotia, and Dana Nance leads her school's teen detective club. But when one of the school's lunch ladies gets killed, and 6 men go missing, including the dad of New Kid in Town, Sam Finch, is the club in over their head? I am a little bit more than halfway on this book, and it's right. So, like, full disclosure, I started reading this last week because we were going to talk about it last week, and then we decided not to have a show, and I was like, okay, fine. And so I stopped reading it, and then I picked it back up last night. So I am sure that I was already starting to get at this moment when I was reading it last week, but like I am to that moment now where I'm like, I need to finish this. I need to know, what's going on. I need to find their resolution. On paper, it sounds like it should be kind of Scooby-Doo-ish. You got these young kids solving mysteries, blah, 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 blah. There's no dog, unfortunately. Well, maybe there's no dog yet.
There's a few.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right.
And they are not friendly.
They are not like Scooby. Ruh-roh. But yeah. But I like how this club, started off innocently enough, and then these real things start happening, and they think that they can still do it, but you guys are teenagers. You probably shouldn't. The art in this, like, there are a couple moments where the art becomes weird, but I think it's supposed to, and so I'm here for it. I don't know why you guys can't see this, but I'm doing like a weird hand movement.
Just listen to the inflection of his voice, and I'm sure you can picture it.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, like, yeah, I'm really excited to see the rest of this. I'm also excited because this is volume 1, so I'm expecting more from these teen detectives, and I'm excited for it. Tabitha, what'd you think?
So I am a little over halfway through this, and you say Scooby-Doo, I say Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys.
That's honestly probably more accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're right. You're right.
We all know my dislike for Scooby-Doo, so maybe that's just me blocking that out. But this is giving what I wish my teen years had been like. Like, can you imagine having friends that want to go solve, like, crimes with you? Like, where were my crime-solving friends? The art does get a little weird on occasion, and I am super desperate right now to know not only what is happening, but why it's happening, and also, like, it is full of unreliable characters, and I am suspicious of everyone, and that is my favorite feeling. So I am here for this, and I am excited to see where it goes, and I kind of already want more.
Matt, what about you?
Yeah, it's like a Canadian Jill and the Killers almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Ooh, crossover. Are you guys listening, Oni Press?
right. No, I'm enjoying this. I am probably a little over halfway, and at this point, kind of like with Covenant, there's a moment where it's a very large info dump. It's a few pages, kind of explaining what the kids have discovered as far as clues and the mystery and their evidence and things like that. And it's a little info dumpy, but I kind of understand why it was done that way. I wish that part was a little bit more clean or more spread out, like kind of lets you kind of follow along with that. But I also feel like there's like a reason behind why it was done that way. I do agree that there's a few moments where the art gets a little weird. Some of the character models get a little strange. And I know that, like, I should be more concerned about who killed the lunch lady and the 6 missing men, but I'm almost more concerned about why Mr. Anderson's eyes are doing that, like, lazy eye thing. Like, it's weird. Like, every time he's in a panel, he's got one looking, like, out at you and one is looking over somewhere else, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. But anyway, no, I'm far enough in where I definitely want to know what is actually happening in this town.
Yeah, I want to go back because you kind of reminded me, and this is not really a criticism of the book. It's just kind of a funny like anecdote. So I was reading more of it this morning before work, and like obviously I had to get to a stopping point that was the end of a chapter. Just makes sense. And so I had read like a couple chapters before that point, and like we were going at a pretty good pace. And then I'm pretty sure it's the chapter that you were just talking about with the info dump, where I'm like, I'm gonna be late for work. Why won't this chapter end? So
is that where they're in the theater?
Yes.
Yep, that's that chapter.
Yes. I was like, I did this to myself.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at anybody but me.
Because it's not dialogue heavy until that section.
Exactly.
And then it's like a page of like speech bubbles.
That's too many speech bubbles.
And like I even like thought about it. I was like, dude, just stop on this page. You can pick it up later. It's fine. But still, I'm like, no, that's not how things work. So you've got to finish this chapter. Plot twist. I was on time for work. All was well. Everything was fine. All right, let's go to trailer takedown.
Let's get ready for trailer takedown.
So we've got 4 trailers to talk about tonight. The first matchup is Never Let Go versus Wicked. This is the second trailer for Wicked. It's a more full trailer of Wicked. It wasn't just like a teaser that we got the first time. Never Let Go, I didn't even know was a thing until I was looking for one more trailer to, even everything out. This stars Halle Berry, and with Never Let Go, there are a lot of differences, but this was giving me some resonant vibes from Vault. Yeah. Not the same story at all, but like especially I'm assuming in the South it kind of felt like this takes place in the South, but like this small family connected to this house, like I was like, that's weird. But that's really where the similarities end. But I don't know, like I kind of liked seeing Halle Berry as a hard ass a little bit. The kids, they were fine. You can tell that this movie is relying heavily on those 3 actors. Yes, there are a couple others that we see, but they are like zombies or whatever. There's this mystery thing in the woods, and if you are not quote unquote like connected to the house, then it's gonna get you. It's weird. It's creepy. Horror movies aren't always my vibe, but like there was something about this movie that I wouldn't be mad about checking it out. Wicked. I'm sure I've said this on the podcast before because we've talked about Wicked multiple times. I don't know that much about the musical. Like I know the basis of it, but I've never seen it. I've never read the book that it's based on, nothing like that. So I'm kind of confused because Glinda seems like a bitch. But then at the end of the trailer, she's Elphaba's bestie. So like, is she still being fake or have things changed?
Spoilers, they become friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does Elphaba ever know that like Glinda was like gonna gave her this hat that she thought was ugly? Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And she was cool with it?
I mean,
They hated each other at first.
yeah, they absolutely. Have you listened to the Nothing? No.
I mean, I've listened to a couple of songs off the soundtrack.
Yeah, they're like frenemies.
Unadulterated loathing
Yeah.
is how they describe each other when they first meet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like they hate each other, and then they kind of become frenemies, and then they actually become friends.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that makes a little bit more sense because I was still worried. I was worried at the end of the trailer that Glinda was just like pretending to be nice to Elphaba, and Yeah.
Don't get
Anyway.
it twisted. Glinda's still a bitch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I was willing to give Ariana Grande the benefit of a doubt with Glinda, but like, even as somebody who like clearly has very limited knowledge, I don't know that I'm feeling her. She did kind of sound like Kristen Chenoweth at times, a little bit, dialogue wise, not necessarily singing wise. But yeah, like I don't know. I am here for Elphaba, except for that note that we will all talk about, I'm sure. But acting wise, I'm like, oh my god, I know you're going to turn out evil, but however, I love you right now.
Who's evil?
She is the Wicked Witch of the West.
But she's not evil.
Wicked.
She's the hero. She's being villainized by the people around her. Did you not catch that?
But once Wizard of Oz comes along, she's wicked.
Because never mind.
Okay, I clearly just need to watch the movie and then watch Wizard of Oz again.
Or you could read Wicked.
Yes.
And start with the original lore,
Okay.
and then you can get back to me.
Do you know how long my TBR is right now?
I don't care.
It's only going to be longer.
You got time. You got till
Anyway.
November.
Yeah, not gonna happen. All that said, I'm very interested in both of these movies, but I am going to give Wicked 6 points. I'm giving Never Let Go 4 points. Lydia.
So, Never Let Go, I am intrigued by, but I also have a lot of questions. Like, is this rope magical? Is that what's keeping these, like, creepy things from, like, getting you if you have the rope on you? Like, why is this rope so special? Like, I'm here for the creepy vibes. I do want to know what's going on, so it's got that going for it, because a lot of horror, like, trailers and things rely more on jump scares than they do, like, trying to give you any idea what the plot is. This actually gave me just enough that I am intrigued and want to know what's going on, so I will give it that. Wicked, I'm still so on the fence about. Like, I want it to be good, but I still don't know about Ariana Grande. That note makes me cringe every time. Me and Tabitha shared the same look. Like, I don't know, guys. I want it to be good, but I'm so scared. But I'm going to go with Mitch on this and say 6 to Wicked and 4 to Never Let Go.
Tabitha.
So the reason you think Never Let Go is set in the South is because of Halle Berry's really shitty Southern accent. That was awful. They should have just let her talk normal and pretend she was a transplant, because that was awful. Like, I couldn't focus on literally anything else. So the more I see of Oz, like of Wicked, like after the end of us watching the trailer, I asked Lydia if we could maybe watch it on mute, because the world looks incredible.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Like, the coloring is perfect, and the themes and it's gonna be sweeping and just I'm obsessed. But then they start talking, and then they start singing, and then I want to cut off my own ears. Ariana Grande should have just talked in a more normal and less trying to be Kristen Chenoweth kind of way, because it's very irritating that she's doing that. Like, just because you feel like you have to do the personification of a character that's been around for so long, you don't have to try to sound like her, because you can't. So just stop. I am here for the actress who is playing Elphaba until she starts singing. And it's like, I'm having a moment where I almost wish this was like My Fair Lady. Like, we could have had Audrey Hepburn play the role and have Julie Andrews sing. Why couldn't we have just the like soundtrack of the original Wicked, like, superimposed into this film? I don't know. I'm way more likely, obviously, to see Wicked. I am not going to see that movie with Halle Berry, because I can't focus on anything but her real crappy Southern accent. God, it's so bad. It is so bad. So I'm going to give 8 to Wicked and 2 to the other one because God help those kids for having to be around Halle Berry that long while she was talking like that.
Since you're talking about Ariana Grande's voice, I agree that she is trying super hard to be Kristen Chenoweth, but at the same time, I don't think it's all that put on because she sounds the same way in that stupid Nickelodeon show she was in when she was younger.
Oh my God, does she?
Mm-hmm.
That's horrible. Just get
What
rid of
show?
Ariana Grande.
Whoa.
What good is she doing? Is she
Like-
helping you?
Like, get rid of Ariana Grande?
Depends on how bad of a day I've had.
Today.
She'll live, but I won't be happy about
Victorious.
Oh, okay.
it. I think I forgot that was her.
Matt, what are your opinions on the trailers? Not necessarily victorious.
Good, because I've never even heard of Victorious. So, I thought I kind of knew the story of Wicked, having seen the musical and not read the book. But this movie story seems to be different than either. No? Okay. Maybe I just don't remember what I've seen or read or whatever. At the end of this trailer, what I really want is a Jeff Goldblum as the wizard backstory. Like I want a story of him, not these two.
You'll probably get that in the second part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm here more for that than I am the rehashing of the musical, which is phenomenal by itself. So, I'm having a hard time just getting behind these two playing these characters. I don't know. I think it's an issue that a lot of people are having, but anyway, that's where I sit with that. Never Let Go feels kind of like a mashup of other horror tropes and ideas that we've seen recently, whether it's The Quiet Place or that trailer for Watchers, Bird Box. Like I feel like it's taking all of those ideas and kind of like handpicking things that it really wanted to do and, you know, applying them to this film. I'm with Lydia. Like, what makes the rope so damn special? Like, is it magical? Does it have superpowers? Like, why does the rope matter? I will say that that's intriguing enough that like I might eventually at some point sit down and watch this, because between that and the hints of the creatures or whatever else is out there that you see, I appreciate that. Instead of just flat out showing you what they're afraid of, you just get hints of it. So that's that Alfred Hitchcock, like, you know, the suspense of the action is better than the actual action itself. I'm going to go 5 and 5 just because 5 and 5.
Before I reveal the scores, that did remind me, I completely forgot, like at the very end, like with that tree and like all the hands and the moving and everything, I was like, this is really weird, but I'm here for it. Anyway, so with a score of 25 to 15, Wicked, I don't know, is more popular than Never Let Go? Sure.
I'll allow it.
It's going to meet the winner of Dune Prophecy versus Megalopolis. If Megalopolis sounds familiar, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Tabitha, let's start with you this round.
I'm tired of looking at Adam Driver's face. If I'm being super real with you, I don't know what this film is about based on that trailer. Did I miss something, or did it just not explain?
It really didn't explain.
Okay. And then, what was the other one called? Sorry.
Dune Prophecy.
Thank you. I was like trying to make it Arachnus for some reason. I was like, that can't be right. I still have not seen the second Dune movie. I'm interested to see what HBO does with this. I am also interested to see why we're taking a film franchise and already making a TV show out of it when we only have 2 films to like a 27 book series. So I'm a little whatever. It looks like it's filmed exactly the same way as the movies. I mean, get it while it's popular, I guess. popular. I'm gonna go with 8 for Dune because I'm again more likely to watch it than I ever am to look at Adam Driver's face.
So when we had the lead up to the first Dune movie, I was so excited. I was very much here for it. I had never read the book, but I bought the book and I was going to finish the book before the first movie came out. That didn't happen. It is a very long book.
It is.
Which, I mean, I knew that going into it, but I was still ambitious. Like Tabitha, I still haven't seen the second movie. I want to, but it's kind of just fallen by the wayside. With Dune Prophecy, I assumed it was going to be a movie as well because, we are just starting this franchise. I wasn't expecting to have a whole TV series. And then it said, all episodes on Max. I'm like, oh, how about that? Maybe because I am... Well, no, I guess I can't even say that because this is a prequel. But still, I still didn't really know what was going on, really, with either of these trailers. But, more so with Dune, I was just I don't know. It's still, I want to watch it, but it's gone from a movie that I want to see but never will to a TV series that I want to see but never will. With Megalopolis... I don't know, guys. Seeing the Statue of Liberty falling over and weeping or whatever the hell was doing, first off, was giving me Weeping Angel vibes. But yeah, I don't know. This looks weird. It looks fantastical, if you will. I want to know more, but I am kind of here for this. I think of these two, I am way more likely to see Megalopolis before I get around to Dune Prophecy. I'm actually going opposite of Tabitha and giving 8 points to Megalopolis, 2 to Dune. Matt.
So a couple weeks ago when we talked about Megalopolis and Francis Ford Coppola's dream for this, the article that I found basically mentioned that he's been collecting tidbits of shit that he finds interesting for 40 years. That's 100% what this trailer is. It's him putting all of this stuff together, and it almost doesn't even look cohesive. You've got sci-fi elements, you've got fantasy elements, you've got Russian bombs, you've got it just is. It's a little bit of everything, and at this point the trailer does not really look cohesive. It looks like all of these things that he really liked or thought were cool, and he's like, I'm gonna put them all together and it's gonna be amazing, and I'm not so sure about that just yet. Dune Prophecy, while I don't know that we need this to be a whole cinematic universe type of situation yet, they've kind of already said that there's going to be a third Dune movie. The same director is going to be attached to it. He's going to complete basically what will be the first 2 books of the Dune series with the third movie. I don't know. This is going to be a backstory, and my favorite part about it is the fact that I've been pronouncing Bene Gesserit right since I first picked up the book. There's that little nerd satisfaction, I was reading it that way for all this time and they just pronounce it on the trailer. I'm like, hey, I was reading it right. Cool, good for me. But I don't know, that little kind of subculture that goes on in the background of Dune is a little, this is a poor comparison, it's a little bit like Boba Fett, where it gives you a little bit, gives you some tidbits, gives you something to grasp onto, but makes them interesting enough that you want to know more. This is knowing more about them. So in that regard, I'm here for it. I'm probably more likely to watch that than at this point I am Megalopolis. So I am actually going to go 9 points for Dune Prophecy and 1 for Megalopolis.
Lydia.
So, unsurprisingly, I haven't seen any of the Dune movies. I haven't read anything, so I know absolutely nothing about it other than, it's a dune and there's sand. This trailer did absolutely nothing to get me intrigued in it. And also some of those outfits made me super uncomfy because, like, earlier you were talking about, oh my god, my clothes are touching me. The mesh and the chains and everything. Nope, get it off. Don't keep it away. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the other one because I know I'm going to stumble over it because I'm me. Yeah, it's a conglomeration of a whole lot of things, and I'm very confused. But I saw Lawrence Fishburne, so that's a plus. So, all in all, I don't really care about either of these, but I'm going to give that one extra point because of Lawrence Fishburne. So it gets 6 and Dune gets 4.
All right, so with a score of 23-17, Dune Prophecy, 6 that sandworm on Megalopolis. It's getting worse, guys.
You gotta go.
Yep.
Are we surprised?
No.
At least you're self-aware.
All right, so the finals, we've got Wicked versus Dune Prophecy. All right, you guys got points?
Yes.
Matt, we'll start with you.
I am going to go 7 points for Dune Prophecy and 3 for Wicked. At this point, purely just for Jeff Goldblum and the Wizard.
Lydia.
As skeptical as I am, I'm just going to give all 10 of my points to Wicked because I really could care less about Dune.
Tabitha.
Out of all the things we talked about tonight, those are the 2 that I am most likely to watch. However, seeing the scope of Wicked and seeing just the world that they built, I'm so much more excited for this than I already was. So I'm going to go 8 for that and 2 for Dune.
Yeah, I am, at the end of the day, I've got a lot less to catch up on with Wicked. Both look cool, but I'm talking like if I'm just like going into Wicked blind. So I am giving what? I am giving Wicked 9 points and Dune 1. So Wicked wins this round of trailer takedown for good. So let's go into gut reaction. Ow!
Gut reaction. Hey, with him having like no knowledge, I'm just impressed that he even got one song. Okay,
That's true.
Oh, I cried during For Good. Oh my god, that is so sad.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't even know how I heard it the first time, but I was like, first time I did, I listened to it on repeat.
I just cried.
Yeah.
Weird flex, but okay.
fair.
All right, so we are starting gut reaction and moving away from my emotions. And we're going to start with Matt and some Tomb Raider news.
So I feel like this had been like discussed in the past, but the Tomb Raider TV series is going to be happening. It's going to be on Amazon Prime, and the part that Tabitha will be most excited about is Phoebe Waller-Bridge is writing and producing the adaptation. At this point, we don't really have any other like casting news or plot-wise, like what she's going to tackle as far as storyline. So, like I said, no casting, but at this point, Amazon seems to have done well with Fallout. So the fact that they have that under their belt maybe means that the Tomb Raider series might stand up okay. I don't know. I'm a sucker for those first couple movies, no matter how bad they are. I still haven't seen the new ones.
Why? Why are you a sucker for them?
There are some fantastic lines, and honestly, like the one,
I was just being funny.
I don't know, the one character that lives in the trailer, the techie kid. I don't know. It felt like that could have been me. some point. But anyway.
Mitch was talking about breasts.
I sure was.
I know. I was avoiding that topic, no matter how pointed it was.
Oh, that's just the video game, not the movie.
Right, exactly. Those were implants. I don't know. I think this has a chance to still do well and be good. So I'm going to go thumbs up, even though we really only have producer and writer.
Lydia.
So I am pretty much scared of anything to do with Tomb Raider and movies or TV series at this point, just based off of how crappy the movie adaptation of the newer video games was. Because I love the new video game series of Tomb Raider.
So
the
good.
movie they tried to make of that pissed me off. And I am super scared.
So maybe it's good I haven't seen that one, because I really like the reboot games.
Don't waste your time. It's not. No, I'll tell you more later. But I'm hopeful that they can do something good. But that just left such a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna go thumb sideways.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a thumb sideways. Tomb Raider is one of those franchises, at least when it comes to like movies and stuff, where I have never seen it, but like I always, for whatever reason, want it to succeed, and am disappointed every time. So like at the end of the day, like I need to see more and know more to really give a good reaction one way or the other. But I'm holding out hope. I believe in you, Lara Croft. Tabitha.
Did you say Laura Croft?
I tried to say Croft, but then my inner Holly Berry got to me.
I thought you were still talking about that mac and cheese drink. So I am kind of with Lydia on this one. Those Tomb Raider movies are more dumpster fire than guilty pleasure for me. But I will say, with the addition of Phoebe Waller-Bridge, considering how well done, I mean, I know that she was just acting in it, but the role she took on in the most recent Indiana Jones film gives Tomb Raider vibes. So maybe she'll bring a little bit of that to Tomb Raider instead of whatever the hell we got the first two times, because it wasn't good. So thumb sideways until we know more. So
last week, we got our first glance of David Cornsweet in the Superman suit. The shot shows... Yeah, okay, his name is spelled Corenswet.
Cornsweet? I refuse.
That's Google.
If that's actually his name, he's got to be from the Midwest.
So, the shot shows Cornsweet. I'm never going to be able to say this. The shot shows Cornsweet sitting down and putting on his boot while something sinister is going on in the distance. Some people have pointed out that this makes Superman look apathetic towards what looks to be an alien attack on Metropolis. I can't remember exactly where I heard or read it, but someone pointed out that Gunn said that it was like a candid photo that was taken on set. So David didn't even know that he was being photographed. James Gunn just liked the image, so that's what they went with. I'm giving this a thumbs up. I love this image. The first moment I saw it, like it immediately became like my phone background. There's just something about it. And Matt and I had kind of talked about it, where, yeah, it looks kind of weird with, something going on in the background and like Superman just being like, I'm taking my time. Two things with that though, like one, it kind of is giving me this vibe of Superman like being more down to earth, and we're not getting this, like Jesus like representation of Superman that we got with the Snyderverse. Also, dude is faster than a speeding bullet. We don't know how fast he's actually putting on those boots. It's probably pretty darn fast. But at the end of the day, this scene is not even going to probably even be in the movie. This was just not even a promotional shot. It was just oh wow, this looked really cool, so this is what we're going with. Also, like, the suit, yes, it's battle damage, so like we're not getting a clean shot of the suit just yet. But it's got me excited for this movie. So thumbs up if I didn't say that. Tabitha.
Corn's wet.
Corn sweat.
Corn's wet.
Corn's wet.
Corn's wet.
Corn's wet.
Corn is wet.
I was saying, okay, so instead of the corn being sweaty, now the corn is just wet.
Corn's wet.
Corn's wet.
It's not getting any better.
No.
You're saying the same thing. Also, I look at this image and I don't look at it and think Superman looks apathetic. Superman looks like these effing humans. I gotta put my shoes back on because they're screwing it up again. Like, this is a man who is tired of saving the world, and this is a man who is like, well, here I go again. This is me getting up and putting my shoes on for work every day. This is a super relatable image. I'm going with the thumbs up.
Matt.
I feel, as maybe this sounds dumb, but I feel better about this image knowing that it is just a shot that was candid on set. James Gunn liked the way that it looked. He decided to add the background to it. So, like, I do think a little bit that he's just like, ho hum, here we go. Got to put my boots on again. You know, pull me up by my bootstraps. If you were Halle Berry. But at the same time, like you and I had discussed, I think it does give a little bit more humanistic version of Superman, which I think is part of the reason I haven't been able to relate or connect with Superman. So hopefully that follows through in the movie. I'm going to give a tentative thumbs up as we see more coming forward.
Lydia.
I do like the fact that it is a candid shot that they decided to use. That is really cool, because there are some pictures like that. There's just like, oh my gosh, that's so good. I got to use it for something. I feel like they could have chosen a little bit different of a background. But let's be honest, it's a Superman movie, and it's probably never going to get played in my house anyway. So it's cool, but other than that, I don't really care all that much. So thumb sideways.
Corn's wet.
Corn's wet. Corn's wet.
Corn's wet.
I hear what you're saying, and I hear what I am saying, and I don't think we're saying the same thing. Like, Corningware? Corn. Corn? Sweat. Corn sweat. You were saying two separate words. You were saying the word corn, and you were saying the word sweat. Or you were saying corn's wet. You need to learn to blend. Did you not have hooked on phonics as a child? Corn sweat.
Corn's wet.
No, but okay.
This has been Kramer with Tabitha.
Matt, let's talk about Michelle Yeoh. I can pronounce that name.
I would hope so.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Oscar-winning actress Michelle Yeoh is one of this year's recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This actually happened the beginning of May, so a couple of weeks ago. But on POTUS X Twitter post, listed all of the people. They did a ceremony on May 3rd, where she and 19 other individuals received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Basically said that it was done in particular for Michelle Yeoh because that Medal of Freedom is for individuals who have made exemplary contributions to the prosperity, values, or security of the United States, world peace, or other significant societal or public or private endeavors. And basically her work in filmography justified that. And I think that's fantastic because she's been a wonderful actress for a very long time. I think she finally recently with the Star Trek series and with Everything Everywhere All at Once, has kind of come to the forefront and become recognized for the incredible actress that she is. So this is just another feather in her cap, if you will. So thumbs up for this.
Lydia.
I don't really have anything to add. That's awesome. Thumbs up.
Yeah, you go, Michelle Yeoh. Thumbs up. Tabitha.
Thumbs up. I feel like we should hear from Not Seth.
He's giving a thumb up. More streaming bundles are coming soon. Comcast has announced a new Stream Saver bundle, which will combine Netflix, Peacock, and Apple TV Plus, and will be available to Comcast broadband, TV, and mobile subscribers. Meanwhile, Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery are teaming up to bundle Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max, and will be available on any of the 3 platforms. No pricing details have been announced. The Comcast bundle will be available later this month, and the Disney bundle will be out sometime this summer. Whatever. We never should have gone away from cable in the first place. Thumbs up. Tabitha.
What year is it? Thumbs down.
Matt.
Because we don't have pricing yet, I'm going thumb sideways. If I could streamline the streaming, so that they all have one login and one password, that would be nice, and to save money. But I swear to God, if I pay for all 3 of these and still get commercials, then we're just back exactly where we were with cable and satellite, and then what's the friggin' point? So thumb sideways.
Lydia.
So Kevin sent me a meme the other day, and it was all the Captain Planet Planeteers, and it was all the streaming services. It's like, when my prices combine, I am the same price as cable. It's like, this is super true, but yeah, I'm with Matt. If it's gonna be basically, oh, you save $1 total, but you still have ads. No, screw you. Go away. Thumb sideways.
Matt, let's talk about Barbarella.
So I didn't even know that this was in discussion, but apparently Sydney Sweeney is in talks to remake Barbarella with Edgar Wright to direct. The original 1968 film was based on a French comic book, which starred Jane Fonda.
No, this whole time I was thinking that they were remaking Barbed Wire, like the Pamela Anderson movie.
No, Pamela Anderson.
Never mind.
Those are very different.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. They've got some eyes on co-writers for the script. I don't honestly know where Sydney Sweeney's interest in this comes from, but I guess Edgar Wright has already signed on to direct. So I don't know. I've never seen the original. I don't know why something like this justifies a remake, other than the fact that we're at the point again where Hollywood has no original ideas. So thumb sideways, because Barbarella is it's one of those cult hits. Why would you remake a cult favorite?
Lydia.
I vaguely remember my dad watching the original. Past that, Hollywood is out of ideas, so they're basically trying to remake whatever they can and scrape the bottom of the barrel to get something. I also have no clue who Sydney Sweeney is, so I'm just gonna go thumbs down.
I'm now giving this a thumb sideways, because now I'm just disappointed, because this whole time, like I said, I thought they were remaking Barbed Wire, and I was kind of oddly here for this, and now I'm disappointed. So tap.
Two things. First thing, Sydney Sweeney bothers the shit out of me, and I know she is the up and coming, whatever, but I have not seen her act in anything except random TikToks that I get on occasion, and I don't like her face. I enjoy Barbarella. I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid because it was one of those movies that was always on some random channel at some point in time, and you're just like, oh, so you would catch like bits and pieces of it, never the full thing.
Seen the middle 30 minutes before you've seen the beginning or the end.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you've also seen the end before you've seen the beginning, and then you see the beginning and you're like, how did they get there? Yeah, I'm gonna go thumbs down on this. Don't mess with a classic.
So, TJ Miller, who was in the first 2 Deadpool movies, was recently on the podcast Help with Natalie Cuomo. On the podcast, he claimed that the first Deadpool movie went to Ryan Reynolds' head. He said, quote, "People get really famous and then they get really weird. You first had Ryan Reynolds, who wasn't like, everybody knew who he was, but never had like, he had a lot of movies that were failures or just didn't do that well." He then goes on to say, and then, so Deadpool 2, he was a different person. That's just a different guy. A guy that's become famous in a movie that is that funny, it changes people. Miller, however, thinks he was immune to the fame. Because he said, and I don't think it changed me because I didn't give a fuck. To be fair to TJ Miller, I don't know Ryan Reynolds. I didn't know Ryan Reynolds before Deadpool. I don't know him now. However, he was pretty famous before Deadpool. He did have a couple of big hits. I don't see where this quote-unquote fame changed him that much. If anything, maybe he changed because it came out that you were a douchebag. I don't know. Thumbs down, TJ Miller. Go away. It still makes me sad that you were in Cloverfield because I love that movie. Tabitha.
You love Cloverfield?
I love Cloverfield. I never saw any of the sequels, but I love Cloverfield.
What an interesting choice. I'm just going to go thumb sideways because I'm too distracted by the fact that you like Cloverfield.
Matt.
So is he just pissed off that he's not in Deadpool and Wolverine? Is that what this happened?
Certain that's what it is.
Okay, so he wasn't popular enough to join Ryan Reynolds' popularity on Deadpool 3.
He got canceled.
Oh,
he got canceled right around
Okay.
Deadpool 2, but he was still in that movie.
I thought I remember that. Okay. Yeah, this is him feeling self-important. And if I'm not mistaken, like everybody basically was like, "Hey, if they do a Deadpool movie, it should be Ryan Reynolds because he'd be friggin' perfect." Like, and then they did the test footage, and then it blew up online, and then it actually happened. So I think he was popular before Deadpool. So thumbs down to TJ Miller's twisted sense of reality.
Lydia.
Yeah, like him talking about how he changed and got like weird, or like, dude, he was always weird. That's the point. Like, he was always like that. This just sounds like him being jealous because Ryan Reynolds has more of a spotlight than he has, and he thinks he deserves it more. And just, dude, I feel like there's a reason you got canceled. Sit down, shut up, bye bye. Thumbs down.
All right. This is our last story of the night.
Get ready.
So, a judge in a town that I've never heard of, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
That's it. Podcast over. Everybody out. You too.
So, this judge has ruled that tacos and burritos are sandwiches.
Is this still Fort Wayne?
Yes.
Okay. I was.
So, this all started in 2019 when Martin Quintana, a commercial developer, wanted a zoning change for a strip mall. To avoid issues with the Covington Creek Condominium Association, Quintana agreed to written commitments.
That is way too many C's.
Yeah.
Yes, sure is. One of the commitments involved restaurants in an effort to keep fast food places out. The agreement read in part, a sandwich bar-style restaurant whose primary business is to sell made-to-order or Subway-style sandwiches, provided that any such restaurant shall not have outdoor seating or drive-through service. The commitment also says that places like Subway and Jimmy John's are fine, but McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy's are prohibited. All this came to a head when the famous Taco Mexican Grill wanted to open a location near Covington Plaza in 2022. Residents originally weren't happy, but they worked out an amendment to the commitment. The Plan Commission, however, didn't approve, leading Quintana to get the courts involved. So now enters the hero of our story, Judge... Judge Craig J. Babe, who ruled that the famous taco could open without any amendments to the original agreement. In the ruling, he wrote, quote, "The court agrees with Quintana that tacos and burritos are Mexican-style sandwiches, and the original written commitment does not restrict potential restaurants to only American cuisine-style sandwiches." Despite the ruling, the judge did not consider the Plan Commission's actions to be improper, which means that they could appeal the ruling. I love this for so many reasons. There is always like a debate whether a taco or a hot dog is a sandwich or whatever. And now we have legal proof that, yes, tacos are sandwiches. What?
I didn't say anything.
But you pulled your microphone towards your mouth like you were about to say something.
I mean, I will when you're done talking.
Okay. Also, anything that rules against like a condominium association, which I'm assuming is kind of like an HOA, that warms my heart. While I've never had to actually live within an HOA, I've heard some horror stories, and so that just brings me so much glee.
This is another reason that I don't like Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't like it on principle because you won't stop talking about it. And
I
now
haven't
I
talked
don't.
about it in a while.
It's because we kept yelling at you.
You mentioned it at C2E2.
You did, in fact, twice.
That was a while ago. Almost a month ago.
Almost
2-3 weeks ago.
Ugh, whatever. Anyway, neither of those things are sandwiches. To be qualified for a sandwich, I am a firm believer you have to have bread. And a taco and a burrito do not have traditional bread. Those are cultural for a reason. They're not sandwiches. A hot dog I could argue, but a burrito or a taco I cannot argue is a sandwich.
Go ahead.
There are sandwiches in Mexican cuisine, and they're called tortas.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's bothersome that they're like, oh, this taco is a sandwich. No, it'd be a torta then. It's not a torta. Burrito, I mean, it's a wrap, which is kind of like the cheater sandwich. Like,
I think
saving
this
some
was more the
calories.
judge going, you know what? You're not going to keep me from having my Mexican food. And the rules say that it just has to be assembled like a Subway sandwich or like a Jimmy John's sandwich. And if you think about like Chipotle or places like that, they have the same kind of setup as a Subway does. So while I do not agree that it is a sandwich, it does fall within those rules.
It's also really weird that they are allowing Subways, which I think are disgusting.
Yes.
But they are ruling out Arby's, which I think is a better sandwich than a Subway. So, gross.
I mean, with the quality of Subway's bread, isn't Subway just charcuterie? Because no one wants to eat that bread. That's mostly like eating a board. Yes.
I haven't eaten Subway in probably close to 20 years. Like, once I realized that other sandwich shops existed, I was like, I'm done with you, Subway. Your meat is disgusting. But, yeah, at the end of the day, though, like, I'm just happy that this, I'm assuming, gaggle of Karens got defeated. And, yeah.
What do you call a bunch of Karens? Is it a gaggle?
I don't know.
It is now. Ooh, yes, I like that much more.
I was going to say a screech, but I like that better.
Oh, a screech of Karens.
that
That's
is
good,
good.
too.
Fair.
A manager of Karens?
No, there is no manager of Karen's. That's the problem.
There needs to be.
That's who they want to speak to.
Yeah. They're all friends with the manager.
Tabitha, you look like you saw a ghost.
No, it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. We can talk about it later. I am out of the ability to control my face after the last 2 weeks. It's doing whatever it wants, and I'm just letting it.
Valid.
Well, on that note, yeah, let's go have some sandwiches. And by sandwiches, I mean tacos. Everybody say goodbye, everybody.
Burrito.
Taco.
Enchilada?
That's going to do it for this episode of The Geek Awakens. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, shoot us an email at thegeekawakenspodcast@gmail.com.
It would be a shame if you didn't follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Geek Awakens Podcast or on Twitter at Geek Awakens.
Theme music created and produced by E. Cannon Beats.
Our logo was designed by Shay McCain.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. We're boldly gone.